Commander Jinnah Park stood alone on the observation deck of the ESS Vigilant. The massive flagship hung silently against the backdrop of stars at the edge of human space. She watched as distant points of light moved in careful formation. The other 11 ships of Earth's secret fleet performing their regular drills. For 200 years, humanity had hidden its true power from the galaxy. While alien diplomats visited Earth and saw only basic ships and modest technology, the real fleet took shape in hidden shipyards among Jupiter's moons. Every part built in secret, every crew member sworn to absolute silence. "Commander, you're needed on the bridge," came a voice through her comm unit. Park turned from the viewport and walked briskly through the sleek corridors. Crew members saluted as she passed. Each person aboard had been carefully selected and trained for this mission, to protect Earth when the threat they had long predicted finally arrived. The bridge hummed with quiet activity. Screens displayed tactical information, star charts, and communication feeds. Lieutenant Daeho Kim stood from the command chair as she entered. "Status report," Park said, taking her seat. "All ships report ready, Commander. The stealth systems are operating at full capacity. As far as the galactic sensors are concerned, we don't exist," she nodded. The fleet's stealth technology was their greatest advantage, developed by studying pieces of crashed alien craft and improved by human innovation. "And the Kroden fleet?" Captain Su-Bin Lee stepped forward with a datapad. "Our long-range sensors have confirmed their approach vector. They will reach the outer colonies in 5 days. Their fleet consists of 27 warships, including their Dreadnought-class flagship." Park studied the tactical display. The Krodens, a species known throughout the galaxy as conquerors and resource hunters, had changed course 3 months ago, heading directly toward human space. When Earth's representatives had raised concerns at the Galactic Council, they were dismissed. The Krodens claimed they were simply passing through on a routine patrol. "The Council still refuses to act?" Park asked. They sent another message. 1 hour ago, Communications Officer Han Sol replied. "They believe the Kroden explanation and see no need for protective measures." Park wasn't surprised. For centuries, humanity had carefully crafted an image of itself as a minor, somewhat primitive species. Earth's representatives acted deferential in council meetings. Human ships appeared outdated and non-threatening. Trade agreements always slightly favored alien partners. This careful deception had a purpose. After first contact, Earth's leaders had studied the complex politics of the galaxy and recognized a pattern. Advanced species often found themselves targets, either for alliance or conquest. By appearing unremarkable, Earth had been left mostly alone while it prepared. "Show me the simulation again," Park ordered. The main screen displayed a computer model of the coming conflict. If the Krodan stayed true to their usual tactics, they would quickly overwhelm Earth's publicly known defenses, establish orbital control, and begin resource extraction. Millions would die in the first wave alone, but the simulation changed when Earth's secret fleet was added. 12 advanced warships, each carrying technology that matched or exceeded anything known in the galaxy. The projection showed the Krodan, advance halted, their forces thrown into disarray by defenders they never knew existed. Admiral Minho joined Park at the tactical display. "The element of surprise will only work once," he said quietly. "Once we reveal ourselves, everything changes." "For Earth and for the galaxy," Park agreed. "Are the crews ready?" "They've trained their entire lives for this moment," Minho said. "But there's a difference between drills and actual combat. Most species in the Council have fought multiple interstellar conflicts. Our people haven't fired a shot in anger beyond our solar system." Park nodded. This was their greatest weakness. Experience. The fleet had the technology and the training, but not the battle-hardened instincts of species who had fought across the stars for generations. "Send the coded message to Earth Command," Park ordered. "We're implementing Phase 3. The bridge. Crew straightened at these words. Phase 3, intercept and engage, was what they had prepared for since the fleet's inception. As the message was sent through secure channels, Park returned to the viewport. The stars looked peaceful, but she knew better. Somewhere out there, the Kroden fleet was approaching, confident they would find an easy target. Instead, they would encounter Earth's secret fleet, humanity's hidden guardians, finally awakening to fulfill their purpose. For better or worse, the galaxy was about to learn the truth about Earth. The massive Krodan warship Conqueror cut through space like a blade, leading a formation of 26 battle vessels toward human territory. On its command bridge, Admiral Grask stood with 4 arms clasped behind his back, his scaled skin reflecting the blue light of tactical displays. "Report on the human defenses," Grask ordered. His intelligence officer, a thin Krodan with specialized sensor implants, looked up from his station. "As expected, Admiral. Their orbital stations are lightly armed. They have perhaps 40 small patrol ships, none larger than a scout class. Our scans show no significant military buildup in their solar system." Grask made a clicking sound of satisfaction. The intelligence gathered over decades confirmed what all Krodans believed. Humans were an unremarkable species who had somehow gained council membership despite their limited capabilities. They would be easy to subjugate. "Their resources will serve the Imperium well," Grask said, "especially their water worlds. Prepare invasion protocols." The command staff worked efficiently, setting coordinates and readying weapons. None noticed the small anomalies in their long-range scans, brief shadows that appeared and disappeared too quickly to register as threats. Aboard the ESS Vigilant, Commander Jinnah Park received confirmation that the entire Earth fleet was in position. 12 ships arranged in a blocking formation, hidden by advanced stealth technology just beyond the path of the approaching Krodan fleet. "All ships report ready, Commander," Lieutenant Deho said. "Weapons and shields at full capacity." Park nodded. "Prepare to disengage stealth systems on my mark." The bridge crew worked in focused silence. For years they had drilled for this moment, but anxiety still filled the air. Once they revealed themselves, there would be no going back. Earth's carefully maintained facade would shatter forever. 3 minutes until Krodan fleet reaches intercept point, the tactical officer announced. Park opened the fleet-wide communication channel. "All ships, this is Commander Park. For 2 centuries, humanity has hidden its strength while preparing for this day. The threat we anticipated has arrived. The Galactic Council refuses to act. It falls to us to defend not just Earth, but all worlds in this sector from Krodan aggression." She paused, looking at the faces of her bridge crew. "Today we show the galaxy what humanity truly is. Not weak, not primitive, but guardians who stand against those who would conquer and destroy." The comm system filled with acknowledgments from the other 11 captains. 30 seconds to intercept, tactical reported. "Disengage stealth systems. Power up all weapons. Raise shields," Park ordered. On Admiral Grask's command bridge, alarms suddenly blared. The sensor officer's eyes widened in shock. "Admiral, multiple vessels appearing directly ahead. Impossible." Grask rushed to the main viewport just as 12 ships materialized before his fleet. Sleek vessels with smooth hulls that seemed to absorb rather than reflect light. Nothing in their intelligence indicated humans possessed such technology. "Full stop! Battle stations!" he roared. The Krodan fleet's momentum carried them closer to the human ships even as they tried to slow. "Unidentified vessels," Grask transmitted, trying to maintain control of the situation. "This is Admiral Grask of the Krodan Imperium. You have entered our operational space. Withdraw immediately or be destroyed." The view screen activated, showing a human female in a blue uniform with silver accents. Her expression was calm but resolute. "Admiral Grask, this is Commander Jinnah, Park of Earth's Defense Fleet. You are approaching protected space. Our intelligence indicates your fleet is configured for invasion, not peaceful transit. We request you alter course or we will be forced to respond." Grask felt a mix of rage and confusion. Earth was not supposed to have a defense fleet. His intelligence had been wrong, catastrophically wrong. "These cannot be human vessels," he hissed to his tactical officer. "Run identity verification. Scans." "Confirmed, Admiral. They bear Earth insignia and human biosigns." Grask's mind raced. The Krodan still outnumbered these Earth ships more than 2 to 1. Whatever technology the humans had, they couldn't possibly stand against the full might of a Krodan battle fleet. "Primitive deception," Grask sneered. Target their lead vessel. Show them what happens to those who challenge the Imperium. On the Vigilant, Park watched the Krodan flagship's weapon ports open. They're targeting us, Commander, Tactical reported. Park nodded. Hold position. Defensive systems ready. Let them fire first. The bridge fell silent as the crew waited. Everything had led to this moment, the first true test of human technology against the galaxy's known powers. They've locked weapons, Lieutenant Deho said quietly. Commander Park gripped the arms of her command chair. And so it begins. The Krodan flagship fired, a brilliant beam of energy cutting across the void toward the Vigilant. The moment of truth had arrived. The bright energy beam from the Krodan flagship streaked across space toward the Vigilant. On the human ship's bridge, no one flinched. Commander Jenna Park watched calmly as the attack approached. Shield status, she said. Shields at full power, Lieutenant Deho replied. When the Krodan weapon struck the Vigilant, there was no explosion, no damage, not even a significant power drain. Instead, the energy seemed to wash over an invisible barrier, dispersing harmlessly into space. The advanced shield technology, developed in secret over generations, performed exactly as designed. On the Krodan flagship, Admiral Grazik stared in disbelief at his tactical display. "Direct hit, but no damage?" he growled. "Impossible! Increase power to main cannon and fire again." His weapons officer worked frantically at the controls. "Admiral, they're not even registering shield stress. Their defensive technology is unlike anything in our databases." Before Grazik could respond, Commander Park's voice came through the communication channel. "Admiral Grazik, we have no wish for conflict. One final warning. Withdraw your fleet." Grazik slammed his fist on his command console. "Never. All ships. Open fire. Destroy these human vessels." Across the Krodan fleet, gunners targeted the Earth ships and fired. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes flooded space. The human fleet held position, their shields absorbing or deflecting every attack without visible strain. On the Vigilant, Commander Park nodded to Captain Subin Lee. "Execute attack pattern Alpha. Targeted strikes only." "Yes, Commander." Transmitting. Coordinates to all ships. The 12 Earth vessels moved with perfect coordination. Until now, the humans had only defended. The Krodans were about to discover what 2 centuries of hidden technological development truly meant. "Fire main cannons," Park ordered. The Vigilance weapons activated. Unlike the bright, visible energy of Krodan weapons, the human vessel released a focused pulse that was barely visible, a ripple in space that traveled at incredible speed. The pulse passed directly through the Krodan flagship's shields as if they weren't there. It struck with surgical precision, disabling the ship's main weapons array without breaching the hull. Simultaneously, the other Earth ships fired similar targeted pulses at various Krodan vessels. Within moments, 5 enemy ships lost propulsion, 3 more lost weapons capabilities, and another 2 experienced complete power failures. "What is happening?" Grazik roared as his bridge lights flickered. "How are they penetrating our shields?" His science officer looked up from his instruments, face pale with shock. "Admiral, they're using harmonic phase technology. It's theoretical. We believed it was impossible." Across the human fleet, Phase 2 of the attack began. Each ship released dozens of small autonomous drones, another technology kept secret. From the galactic community, the drones swarmed toward the Krodan vessels, easily evading point defense systems. These weren't simple explosive devices. Each drone carried specialized equipment designed to disable rather than destroy. They attached to hull points and began neutralizing specific systems, communications, secondary weapons, shield generators. On the Vigilance bridge, Lieutenant Deho reported, "Drone deployment successful, Commander. 10 Krodan vessels now completely disabled, 7 more with limited functionality." Commander Park nodded. "And casualties?" "None reported, Commander. Our precision strikes avoided crew quarters and life support systems. This had been a key part of the strategy. Demonstrate overwhelming technological superiority while minimizing loss of life." Earth's fleet wasn't just powerful, it was precise. Admiral Grazk watched in horror as his mighty battle fleet was systematically neutralized. The Krodan Empire had conquered 12 species and fought in 23 interstellar conflicts. Never had they faced technology like this. Admiral, his communications officer, called. 3 more ships have lost all power. Captain Vrask of the Dominator is requesting permission to surrender. Grazk's 4 hands clenched into fists. Surrender was shameful, but continuing this battle seemed futile. The humans could have destroyed his entire fleet by now if they had wanted to. On the Vigilant, Commander Park watched the remaining active Krodan ships. They had stopped firing and appeared to be in disarray. Commander, Communications Officer Han Sol said, "We're receiving a signal from the Krodan flagship." "On screen," Park ordered. Admiral Grazk appeared, his scaled face rigid with controlled fury. "Commander Park, it seems we underestimated Earth's capabilities." "Indeed, Admiral," Park replied calmly. "I propose a ceasefire while we discuss terms." Park nodded once. "Ceasefire accepted. Your invasion fleet will power down all remaining weapon systems and prepare to be escorted out of this sector." As the transmission ended, a new alert sounded. Lieutenant Deho looked up from his console. "Commander, we're detecting a diplomatic vessel approaching. Galactic Council markings." Park allowed herself a small smile. "Right on time. The Council always seems to arrive when the fighting is done." The battle was over, but the real challenge was just beginning. Humanity's secret was now revealed to the galaxy. The Galactic Council ship, Harmony, approached the battlefield slowly. Its pilot carefully navigated through disabled Krodan vessels and debris. Ambassador Taewan stood at the viewport, his eyes wide with disbelief at the scene before him. "This cannot be," he whispered to his aide. "The human fleet, it defeated the Krodans?" The Harmony sensors confirmed what his eyes were telling him. 17 Krodan warships completely disabled, 10 more with significant damage, and not a single human vessel showing any signs of combat damage. For decades, Taewan had represented the Velkorian people on the Council. He had personally met with human diplomats many times. Always, they were polite, somewhat deferential, and seemingly limited in technological advancement. Nothing in his experience had prepared him for this. "Ambassador, we're receiving a transmission from the human flagship," his communications officer reported. Commander Jinnah Park's face appeared on the main screen. She looked calm and composed, as if defeating one of the galaxy's most feared military powers was routine. "Ambassador Taewan, welcome to the edge of human space. I apologize for the circumstances of our meeting." Taewan struggled to find his diplomatic voice. "Commander, this is most unexpected. The Council was informed of a potential border dispute. Not this. We sent multiple warnings about Krodan movement toward human territory," Park replied. "The Council dismissed our concerns." The ambassador shifted uncomfortably. It was true. Earth's representatives had brought evidence of the Krodan fleet's change of course to the Council 3 times in recent months. Each time they were politely ignored. "We would like to invite you aboard the Vigilant," Park continued. "There are matters that should be discussed in person." 1 hour later, Ambassador Taewan and 3 Council security officials stood in the docking bay of the ESS Vigilant. The interior of the human ship was unlike anything in his experience. Clean lines, advanced technology seamlessly integrated into the structure, and a sense of efficiency that surpassed even Velkorian design principles. Commander Park greeted them personally. "Welcome aboard. If you'll follow me, Strategic Director Ji-woo is waiting to provide context for today's events." As they walked through the corridors, Taewan noticed details that contradicted everything known about human technology. The lighting adjusted automatically to their presence. Doors opened with no visible controls. Crew members worked at stations with interfaces that seemed to respond to thought as much as touch. "Your ship," he began hesitantly. "This technology is not what you expected," Park finished for him. "That was intentional, Ambassador." They entered a large conference room where a wall-sized display showed the current positions of all vessels in the area. A tall woman with short gray hair stood waiting. "Ambassador Taewan, I am Strategic Director Jiwoo, she said, extending her hand in the human greeting custom. Thank you for coming. Once they were seated, Jiwoo activated a presentation. Images of Earth through different periods of its recent history appeared. 200 years ago, after first contact, Earth's leadership made a crucial decision, Jiwoo explained. We studied the pattern of galactic politics and noticed something concerning. Advanced species became targets, either for alliance or conquest. The display showed historical conflicts between major powers. We chose a different path. While publicly maintaining modest technological capabilities, we secretly developed our true potential. The fleet you see today is the result of 2 centuries of hidden preparation. Taewon frowned. But why the deception? Earth could have been a major power in the Council all this time, and would have been drawn into countless conflicts, Commander Park added. By appearing unremarkable, we were left alone to develop at our own pace. Jiwoo nodded. We built this fleet for one purpose, to defend not just Earth but this entire sector from threats the Council seemed unwilling to address. The Krodan invasion force was exactly what we had prepared for. Ambassador, Taewon looked troubled. The Council will view this as problematic. You've hidden your true capabilities, potentially violating technology disclosure agreements. Agreements that have never been equally enforced, Jiwoo responded firmly. How many Council members maintain secret research programs? How many have capabilities they've never revealed? Taewon couldn't deny this truth. The Council preached transparency, but practiced selective enforcement. Commander Park stood and walked to the viewport. What matters now is what happens next. The Krodan threat has been neutralized, but our secret is revealed. Earth can no longer pretend to be less than it is. The Council will need to reassess humanity's position, Taewon acknowledged. This changes the balance of power significantly. We don't seek dominance, Jiwoo assured him. But we will no longer be dismissed or overlooked. As the ambassador looked around the advanced ship, he realized that everything he thought he knew about humans had been carefully constructed. How many other truths about them were actually elaborate deceptions? I must report this to the full Council immediately, he said finally. They will want to send a formal delegation. Commander Park nodded. We are ready for that conversation. It's long overdue. The grand hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with nervous energy. Representatives from 117 species filled the tiered seating, their voices creating a storm of whispers and exclamations. At the center of the controversy stood Commander Jinna Park, alone at the speaker's podium. 3 days had passed since the battle with the Krodan fleet. News had spread quickly across the galaxy. The supposedly minor human civilization had defeated one of the most powerful military forces in known space, and they had done it with technology no one knew they possessed. Council President Zoltar, a tall being with crystalline features, called for order. The room gradually fell silent. Commander Park, Zoltar began. You represent Earth in these proceedings. The Council has reviewed the battle recordings and Ambassador Taewon's report. We have many questions. Park nodded calmly. I understand, President Zoltar. For 2 centuries, Earth has hidden its true technological capabilities from the Council. This deception violates multiple agreements. With respect, President, Park replied. Earth revealed exactly what the Council agreements required. We never lied about our abilities. We simply chose not to volunteer information beyond what was asked. This caused another wave of murmurs across the hall. Technically, she was correct. The disclosure agreements had loopholes that many species exploited. But the scale of your discretion is unprecedented, Zoltar continued. Your fleet's capabilities exceed those of many founding council members. Our technology was developed for one purpose, defense, Park explained. The Krodan invasion force would have caused devastation throughout our sector. Billions of lives were at risk on Earth and elsewhere. Ambassador Krell of the Draconis Confederation rose to speak. If humans possess such power, why not reveal it earlier? You could have taken a leadership role in council affairs years ago and been drawn into conflicts not of our making, Park countered. History shows that technological advantage attracts both allies seeking protection and enemies seeking to neutralize potential threats. The truth of her words hung in the air. Many council species had suffered exactly this fate. "What does Earth want now?" asked Representative Laura of the Centauri Alliance. "With your military power revealed, you could demand significant concessions." Commander Park straightened her uniform and looked around the chamber. This was the moment Earth had prepared for. Not just the battle, but this conversation. Earth wants what it has always wanted: peace, security, fair treatment in galactic affairs. Her voice carried clearly through the hall. "We don't seek dominance or special privilege, but we will no longer pretend to be less than we are." She activated a holographic display showing the disabled Croton ships. "Notice that we disabled the invasion fleet without destroying a single vessel. We could have annihilated them. Instead, we neutralized the threat with minimal casualties. That restraint reflects our values." President Zoltar studied Park carefully. "What role does Earth envision for itself in the Council moving forward?" "A full partner in maintaining peace and security," Park replied without hesitation. "The Croton incursion was predicted by our analysts months ago. We warned the Council 3 times. Those warnings were ignored, forcing us to act alone." Many representatives shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The failure to act on Earth's intelligence had been a significant oversight. "Earth proposes the creation of a new rapid response fleet," Park continued. "A multi-species force that can address threats like the Crotons before they develop into full-scale invasions. We offer to contribute our technology and experience to this initiative." The proposal caused immediate discussion. A human-led defense force would significantly alter the balance of power. "And if we decline?" asked a representative from the outer systems. "Then Earth will continue to defend its interests and allies as needed," Park said simply. "But we believe cooperation benefits everyone. The days of Earth hiding in the shadows are over." After hours of debate, the Council reached a preliminary decision. Earth would be reclassified as a major power. A committee would be formed to explore Park's proposal for a joint defense initiative, and most significantly, humans would receive 3 additional seats on the Council's Security Committee. As Commander Park left the chamber, Admiral Min Ho waited in the corridor. "How did they take it?" he asked. "About as expected," Park replied. "Shock, some anger, then gradual acceptance. And our proposal? Being considered, it's a start." The 2 officers walked together toward the docking bay where their shuttle waited. 200 years of preparation, Min Ho mused. All for this moment. Park nodded. "The hard part begins now. Fighting is simple compared to politics." As their shuttle departed for the Vigilant, Park looked down at the Council station. For generations, humans had watched from the sidelines, learning and preparing. Now they would help shape the galaxy's future. Earth's secret fleet had awakened, and with it humanity's true potential.